The Reds are 67-61, third in the NL Central, but just one game back in the wild card behind the Mets, who have been struggling of late, Skinny. Sal Stewart, I feel like, is oddly enough the biggest storyline for the Reds this week. He's not with the team. He's down in AAA, just absolutely mashing. He has 7 home runs in 29 games at Louisville, including another mammoth shot last night. With Matt McClain really struggling, so much so that they put Santiago Espinal in the starting lineup for him last night.
Yep.
Should the Reds call up Sal Stewart? Should they have already called him up? What would you do here?
Yes, I call up Sal Stewart because he's earned it, and I let Matt McClain go get every day at bats in AAA to try to get himself better. I mean, I don't know what good it is for Matt McClain to not play. I mean, give me any positive to that for him or the organization for him to not play.
There is none, but what do you make of the Matt McClain situation? Because we've been very high on him. You especially love him. We saw this thing with Noelvi Marte last year where you try to come back after missing all that time and you really struggle, and then all of a sudden he's looking better again this year. Do you think it's something like that with McClain where he just took so much time off that he's rusty and he's having a hard time getting back in the groove?
And I think for Noelvi Marte, it was going down and getting some at-bats in AAA and kind of getting himself right. And I think that's what Matt McClain can do. I think that bat is still in there. And now you've seen it from Marte. I thought they rushed Marte last year when he came back off the suspension he got hardly any run in the minors. It was almost like, let's get you some bats. Okay, now you're back in the big leagues. No. And Matt McClain's coming off a full year of injury, an injury issue. And, maybe the expectations were too high that, he's just going to bounce back and be just fine. And he never was. And then all of a sudden you look up at your batting average, you're hitting 189. And what do you do at that point? You start pressing. And then you press some more. And then he did kind of right the ship for a while there. But then it started to come back again. And then suddenly the manager, and I'm again, Terry Francona is paid to try to win games. So I know he's trying to put the best lineup on the field. But, at the same time, you basically have put this kid in the corner. If you're going to put him in the corner, let's put him in AAA and get him right.
Last week, I commented on the idea of Ke'Bryan Hayes, where I didn't really understand that move because it's kind of creating a log jam in the infield where all of your top prospects are. You're paying them for the next 4 years, a decent amount of money. And somebody pointed out the idea to me of, do you think this signifies that they're maybe starting to give up on McClain a little bit, thinking that he's not a cornerstone of that infield and maybe Ke'Bryan Hayes is kind of taking over his spot potentially?
Yeah, I don't know. I still think Matt McClain is still worth a reclamation project. It's not going to happen at the big league level right now, getting 2 starts a week. If you're going to do this, send him down, be done with it, call up Sal Stewart, and let's see what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think most people are. Do you think that they have lost confidence in Matt McClain overall,
Absolutely. Though? Absolutely they have. I mean, if you're playing lightweight hitting Santiago Espinal because you feel like that's a better offensive option, give me a break.
Not great. I mean, that's a tough look. I think when every Reds fan looks up and sees that lineup card last night, it's like, what are we doing here?
You see the bottom third of Trevino, who played well above his baseball card earlier in the year, and it was a fun story and good for him. You see the bottom third of Trevino, Ke'Bryan Hayes, and Santiago Espinal. That feels like 10 to 12 outs right there.
It does. I mean, really. For a team that's one game out of the wild card, half game out of the wild card at that time.
Yes.
Tough. Another thing that we talked about last week, and we were both on the mindset of like, okay, Hunter Green took all this time to come back and get himself healthy. He better be ready to go. I don't want to hear about this like, I need some time to get going, or I'm a little rusty now after not pitching for a while. Skinny, he's been unbelievable in these first 2 outings. 18 strikeouts and no walks through 12 1/3 innings in his first 2 starts. 6 innings, no runs against the Phillies. 6 1/3 with 3 runs against the Angels. How much more confident in the Reds' chances of making the playoffs does Hunter Green's performance over the last 2 games?
And getting Nick Lodolo back next week, back in the rotation. Suddenly the rotation is Hunter, Nick Lodolo, Andrew Abbott, Zach Littell, and I guess Brady Singer. That puts Martinez back in that super reliever role. And he pitched a great game last night. The problem is it feels like he has 2 good starts and then just one godforsaken start, which helps balloon his ERA. But I think, man, you give me that rotation the rest of the way, I think you do overtake the Mets for the wild card spot.
I think what's your prediction? How long will it take for the Reds to jump the Mets here? Do you think it happens?
I'll say by Labor Day, another 10 days or so.
All right. Anything else on the Reds?
No.